Yo, Pete's Mischief here. So, little mini segment for you. Just my thoughts on war. Here we go. Cue title sequence. Yep. There we go. Right, so this is just a quick little snippet for you. With all the craziness going off in the world, I've got to sort of just say a little piece. I'm not going to really mention any particular sides to conflicts, because in war there is no good and evil, really. When you boil it down to what people try and make you believe, it's a very simple: these guys are good, these guys are bad. It's never that, that simple, that easy. Obviously, unless it's the Nazis, then, But obviously, even looking back into those, the coercion and the way that people were brought through propaganda, So war leads, to fear, hate, anger, destruction, And like the great song said, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing, People have wrote songs about war. The Beatles are famous for, writing songs, and John Lennon protesting against wars, and, Black Sabbath, it's, when are we going to stop this? You've got the military industrial complex that churns out weapons and sells weapons to technically their enemies by various means. You've got superpowers at each other's throats using coercion and propaganda on both sides, to use disinformation, especially through social media. It's so easy just to watch one video and think, oh, these guys are the bad guys, and then watch one other video and go, oh, wait a minute, no, these guys are the bad guys, and then go, oh, wait a minute, oh, no, these guys are the, no, wait a minute, these guys are the, well, what the fuck? And then you realise, wait a minute, these guys and these guys are just trying to get us to fight, basically, because they want money. He wants land. He's a dick. He wants this. Where are we in all this? So since, before 1300 BCE, which is before current era, if you don't talk in those kind of terms, or before Christ, you've got, the Trojan War, 800 to 700 BCE, you've got the First Mesopotamian War, then the Liftain War, and 700 to 600 BCE, you've got the Liftain War again, and the Second Mesopotamian War, then 500 to 400 BCE, you've got the Greco-Persian War, the Peloponnesian War, 400 to 300 BCE, you've got the Lemon War, 300 to 200 BCE, you've got the First Punic War, Second Punic War, the 200 to 100 BCE, you've got a Third Punic War, 100 BCE to 100 CE, you've got the Gallic War, 600 to 700, you've got Junish to Noran, 1000 to 1300, you've got the Norman Conquest, Crusades, Capelli War, Barons War, 100 Years' War. That goes through 14 to 1500s. Obviously, we're missing out the Roman Empire, in amongst all that, and Egypt and all the other Arab states and everything. Now, I'm not missing anybody out for war. We're all good at war here. So let's carry on. Sorry. So we've got the 100 Years' War. I love the 100 Years' War. Can you imagine on the news for the 100 Years' War? It would have just been tonight, war, more war, and some war. Well, I don't know, a demon got driven from a pig in Sussex. I stole that joke from Bill Bailey, but I love that. But it is, what would the world be like in the 100 Years' War? Where are you going today, darling? Just going to war. Oh, okay. Could you get some milk while you're at war? Oh, yes, I'm sure we'll get some. What did I have like a half-time coffee? It's 100 Years' War. Surely there's got to have been, and it's been with swords and axes. So that's kind of like, what kind of, can we have a rest? We have like 5-10 minutes in between. That's great. A fag break, something. I don't know. So War of the Eight Saints and 14 to 1500s, the 100 Years' War, 13 Years' War, War of the Roses, the Onin War, 15 to 1600s, Counts War, Arcusian Wars, Livonian War, 80 Years' War, another 80 years of war in there. Love it. Got to slide that one in, and then add a couple more wars onto that one. War of the Three Henrys. Love that one. 1600, you've got the early 80s war. You've got the Kalmar War, the 30 Years' War, another 80 Years' War. So you've got an 80 and a 30, so that's actually over 100. Maybe they started that one somewhere in the middle. You're running 2 consecutive wars. That one obviously beat the other war somehow. The Potan War, Bishops' Wars, English Civil Wars, 1642 to 51. Didn't last very long. First Northern War. War of Devolution, King Philip's War, War of the Grand Alliance, King William's War, 1700 to 1800. You got the Second Northern War, War of the Spanish Succession, War of this is a busy couple of years here. War of Embodas, the Karnak Wars, Queen Anne's War, Yasmin War, War of the Polish Succession, War of Jenkins Era, War of the Australian Succession, King George's War, French and Indian War, Sagan Wars, 7 Years' War, fit in the 7 Years' War just in between these wars, Roland War, American Revolution, just fit in the revolution somewhere in this time frame. Have we got enough time for another war? I think we can squeeze one in this bit here. Okay, fantastic. Cape Frontier Wars, French Revolution, the French Revolutionary Wars. They got in another revolution. You know, they were doing well in the 1700s there. So 18th, 1900s then we've got Cape Frontier Wars, French Revolutionary Wars continued, part 2 there. Got to, you got to you got to run with a second one, ain't you? Somewhere in there, a sequel. The sequel's always good. Second one sometimes not always as good as the first, but hey. So now we've got the War of the Oranges, Tripoli War, Second Martha War, Third Martha War, Napoleonic Wars, the Black War. God, this is a lot on here. Now, Peninsular War, War of 1812. They just named it that year. They couldn't even be bothered. It's just the year. What can we do this year? We need a war. What are we going to call it? What year is it? 1812. That'll do. Fantastic. The Greek War, War of Greek Independence. Love it. Another independence. There we go. The Padri War, Nanning War. They're just making shit up now, aren't they? Pastry War, Mexican-American War. American. Oh, the Mexican-American War. I didn't realize we were going all British now. We're just reading out wars. I've got totally into colonial mode. Quickly take over somewhere. Go and rape and pillage. Not condemning any of those things at all. Okay, so Crimean War, Bleeding Kansas, American Civil War, War of the Triple Alliance, 7 weeks war. 7 weeks, just 7 weeks. Got to fit another war in here. Nearly the end of 7 weeks, quick, fit it in. Savannah Civil War, French-German War, Antonese War, Red River Indian War, Anglo-Zulu War, War of the Pacific, Gun War, Sino-French War, Serbia-Bulgarian War, Sino-Japanese War, Spanish-American War, Philippine-American War, South American War, the War of the 1,000 Days, War of 1,000 Days, of 1,000 days, 1899 to 1903, 1,000 days. They banged it out, bang on there, and cut. We did it, boys. 1,000 days of war. What is it good for? Apparently not these guys over here because they're all dead, but us, we're okay. So it's good for us, I suppose. I say 1900 to 2000 then. Ashish War, Philippine American War, South American War, the War of 1,000 Days. Again, another 1,000 days. Oh, no, wait a minute, that's the bit I just read in it, sorry. I thought they'd fit another 1,000 days in. Bang, we're doing it again. Now, okay, so the Boxer Rebellion, Morocco War, the Boxer Rebellion. That lasted from 1900 to 1901. It was a year. Just one boxer dude going around, or was it dogs? Boxer dogs? They like rebelled and made their own stuff. Maybe that's an invisible island somewhere now, ruled by dogs. Okay, interesting. Moro Wars, Russo-Japanese War, the Pig War. My God, so we had dogs fighting, we had pigs fighting. This is bigger than I thought. The Mexican Revolution, Italo-Turkish War, World War One. Obviously, we had to fit in a world war. It wasn't good enough. Everyone's just fighting individually. Dogs, cats, pigs, Italo-Turkish, English, whoever. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. Everyone's fighting everyone. Let's just join up and make it a world war. Fantastic idea, boys. Why didn't we think of that before? And then we had the Baltic War of Liberation, the Russian Civil War, the Russo-Polish War, the Rif War, the Krakow War, the Italian European War, Spanish Civil War, Sinko-Japanese War, Phoney War, Russian-Finnish War, World War II. That was like, bang, right, okay, we've had enough wars in between this. Let's have another one. Went really well the last time, I believe. I think we sort of claimed some land. How much land did we get? That much. Wow, is that what scale is that to? That's 2 scale. So we gained 4 feet. Okay, brilliant. So then we decided to have a Greek civil war, then an Arab-Israel wars. Is that solved yet? No. Okay, skipping forward. The Korean War, Algerian War, Vietnam War. That went well. 6-Day War, the War of Attrition, Yom Kippur War, Dirty War, Afghan War, Iran-Iraq War. That went really well, didn't it? Found lots of magic things over there. Falkland Island Wars, Persian Gulf War, the Bosnian conflict, Kosovo conflict, Afghan War, Iraq War, Syrian Civil War, wars in Ireland, and go on and on and on and on. Ukraine, Russia. So that's just a very small list. There's many more wars I've missed out. I do apologise if I have missed a war out, if I've mispronounced a war. That's not even like half of them. That's just the ones that made the top 20. We're not going down to little petty skirmishes or wiping out villages or people or whatever. So they don't count, obviously, as a full war. Battles and skirmishes is what you got to delve into. So really, I'm making light of a very serious topic. For one reason and one reason only. I see no good in any of these wars at all. They don't benefit any of us. People like me, like you, that just go to work, go and do stuff. You're trying to feed your family, you're trying to do stuff. We're lucky in England we're not living in a war zone. Might feel like it sometimes if you're walking through some city centres. But we don't have to live with that fear, and we can't sort of put our minds into that. It's been a very long time, obviously, since World War II. I'm sure they're trying for, the triple there, but it's not something I want. So all I've got to say is, seriously, peace and love to everyone who watches this channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. I hope you feel the same as me. It's just insane. We've had things like the 100 Years War, 80 Years War, the 70 Years War. It's just, when are we going to realise as a species that, why am I killing this guy? Because this guy said so. Why? So he can get some land and some power and control over these other people, and everyone will do what he says. Right, okay. Yeah, I don't really feel like doing that today. Does that mean I've got to do what the guy says then? Well, yeah, because otherwise we're going to shoot you. Well, you didn't mention that in the convo, when we were discussing. You're gonna shoot me if I don't kill this guy, because I don't want to. But if I don't want to kill the guy, but I'm gonna get so. But this other guy's telling you that you've got to shoot me. Yeah. Well, you've got a gun. Yeah. Well, why don't you just shoot him? Oh, well, because he's, I haven't really thought about that, to be fair. Yeah, well, I mean, we could follow you, couldn't we? Eh? I mean, I'm sure you don't want all this You know, imagine if you stopped all this, right? You'd be like, woo, everyone would love you, wouldn't they? You know? So we could go with that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who's right? Who's wrong? You know? Joe Biden, Putin, boo. you know? uh, people, I just don't, we've got frigging Trump running again. I can't see that being a good thing at all. Either way you look at any of it, in current circumstances, who can we trust? Who can we actually look to that's not corrupt? People have been funded by Russia, people have been funded by America, people have been funded by this, people have been funded by Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, people building mass weapons and selling them to people and continuing the wars that we don't. Last time I checked, my neighbours don't want a war, none of my family want a war, you don't want a war, the land, who decided whose land everything was? This is what's always got me. Like, we live here, this is our land. Right. Who decided this and who named this frigging place? Lady Hole Lane? Yeah. What was going on down here then? Ticklebottom? Rottingham? I think we all understand what that one was about. But yeah, people, that's just my piece on war. We've had too many of them. We don't need any more. What we need is peaceful solutions. Zelensky's offered peace and, to be a neutral country. Let's go with that. Can't we go with that? Let's just leave Palestine alone. And Israel, you just do your thing and come out of there. And why can't everyone just live together and just agree that we're all just the same people? No matter who we are, you're going about skin color, you're going about this, you're going about everything, but who are you really? And you go, oh, my name's this. What's that mean? Who are you? And what do you want to give to this world? Look inside yourself and decide, who am I? What do I want to do? What do I want to give back? What can I give back? Should I go around just murdering and killing people? Or should I not do that and go, no, fuck you, I'm not doing your crap. None of us are doing your crap. We don't want this. Hey, wouldn't that be nice? So, anyway, that's my little piece on war and what is it good for. I will just say, I do respect all of our servicemen. My dad was a para, and, the climate we live in makes war and makes soldiers, and I don't knock anyone for going into that because you have a belief, but it's our job as humankind to change that belief and open it up to realize that we don't have to kill each other, we don't have to do this, we don't have to rape and whatever and just be horrible to each other or look down on each other. We are all the same species, I'm sorry to tell you. We all come from this, well, we probably don't come from this planet actually, that's probably why we're so effed up. But I'll get to that in one of my books later on. So anyway, thank you very much for listening to this, and hope you all are safe and well, and peace and love to all my viewers. I know this sounds so hippie and blacky, but I don't know. I don't do political stuff. I don't do things like that. I talk about conspiracy. I talk about all sorts of things, and I will be doing a piece on propaganda. And all sides use propaganda. Some people use it more effectively than others, and they run their way into things and get people to think that they're doing the right thing. So that's going to be an episode that I'm going to be covering. Also, chemtrails, and obviously, like I said, you're going to get some of the ancient episodes and more UK UFOs. So thank you very much for listening to this. And yeah, go and check out how many wars we've ever had and look into some of them. They're fascinating. I used to do reenactments and things, and the early wars were insane. You're walking for days and then fighting and then just dying in the middle of a field. For what reason? Never got it. It was fun, though. Yeah. So anyway, peeps, Mischief signing out. I'll see you in the next one.